Next up on CBeebies, it's Cunts on daytime TV.
Lie detectors, DNA tests, family feuds, exes at war, you name it, my friends will have it.
Mainless, it's just mainless.
Retarded.
I, like everybody, am appalled.
The heart of what is wrong with this country.
Fashion tips, recipes, interviews with celebrities.
Cool.
Features on Alzheimer's disease. In this show you'll find none of these.
Cool.
But when you hear my ideas, I came up with after a few beers.
Cool.
You will probably agree. There's room for one more cunt on daytime TV.
Wonga.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our cunt from Kunt and the gang!
Hello, and welcome to the show. Now, a lot of people have been saying to me, "Cunt, how come you're back in Edinburgh with a brand new show?" Well, I'll tell you. Last year I got a bad review. It said I'd been hawking the same old stuff around Edinburgh for the last 3 years, and it accused me of only having one idea. Now, if any of you have seen my other show, you'll know that's not true at all. Because I've got songs about wanking, songs about wanking and crying, and one song about wanking a dog. But it rolled me up. It made me think, I'll show them. I'm going to come back in 2012 with a show based around a completely new and original idea. Don't get too excited, mate. Now, unfortunately, the Fringe guy want you to submit your show details in April, which I think is too fucking early. In April, a week before the deadline, this is what my show looked like. And on the day of the deadline, it looked like this. So why did I decide to write a show about daytime TV? Well, I'll tell you. It's basically because I'm a lazy bastard, and I thought it would be the easiest thing to write a show about. What I didn't realise was, as soon as you go to do any research on daytime TV, you just end up laying around in your pants watching it. Well, I say watching it, sometimes I just had it on in the background as I was on Facebook, looking at this girl I used to fancy at school's holiday pictures. Hoping there might be one with an accidental nip slip. Never is there, but you have to look just in case. So anyway, the Fringe deadline came and went, and I had 3 months to get my show written, May, June and July. In May, 3 years after everyone else, I got myself an iPhone. And I discovered how much time you can spend fiddling around with all the little apps. At the end of June, my show looked like this. What I'm trying to say is, if you come to see a clever, well thought out, witty, satirical look on daytime TV, you're going to go and sorely fucking disappointed. On the other hand, if you come to see some tenuously researched stories, badly linked clips, shoehorned in songs, and the occasional libelous comment that tramples over the grave of a dead celebrity, then you've come to the right place. It was the start of June, and I still hadn't written anything on my show. Another day came and went, I was about to write the day off. It was 6 o'clock and Eggheads had just come on. And suddenly it happened. Like a bolt from the blue, I had an idea. I thought to myself, the Eggheads are a bunch of cunts. And they're doing a quiz. Cunts. Quiz. Cunts. Quiz. Cunts quiz. I could do a quiz. I could put it right at the start of the show and pretend it's to see how people's knowledge is on daytime TV, when in actual fact it'd just use up about 10 minutes when I don't have to think of any proper ideas. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, for this I need a couple of contestants. Now, don't worry if you haven't got a massive knowledge about daytime TV. I'm not necessarily looking for students, old age pensioners, the unemployed, or people on long-term sickness and disability benefit. Anyone I fucking do, come, let's have a couple of hands. Who wants to come and play the quiz? Are we here? Yeah. Come on, man, up you come. Why does he pick you out? Anyone fancy taking him on? Nice one, good man, up you come. Come and have a few.
Cunts quiz, a whole set of questions is what it is. A tenuous series of weak ideas, shoehorned together in the premise of a quiz. Cunts quiz, some of it so sexy it will make your butt no fizz. Someone will win some prizes that are worth about a quid, and someone
Don't nick his seat, you bastard. He'll need that in 10 minutes. You can go and sit on his lap. Now, what's your name, young man?
It's David.
Hello, David. Where are you from?
Lanarkshire.
Give him a little Wong cheer, you bunch of cunts. Come on, little ripple. Yeah, that's more like it. What's your name, young man?
Andrew.
Andrew, and where are you from?
I'm from Switzerland.
Fuck off. He's lying, he's just trying to sound exotic, get his end away. Where are you really from?
I was actually born in Switzerland.
But how long have you been out of Switzerland? Like 33 years or something?
At least 10.
Oh, I don't really count it. Right, so, Andrew, was it?
Yeah.
From Scotland? And David from Scotland. Right, okie doke. Now, you two, we're going to crack on with a quiz, alright? Now, this first round, right, if you ever watch Noel Edmonds on Deal or No Deal, or Jeremy Kyle on the Jeremy Kyle Show, you will know that they have got some very catchy catchphrases. So this first round celebrates daytime TV's catchiest catchphrases, and it's called the Catchy Catchphrase Round.
Catchphrase round, catchphrase round. You'll hear some catchy catchphrases right after this sound.
Right, do you want to give your little tutor a test? Give it a good old. Nice one.
Yes!
Perfect.
Got a clock
Right.
in.
I'm going to read out a catchy catchphrase, right? And I need you to buzz in and tell me if you think it's Noel's or if you think it's Jeremy's, alright? Now, obviously, I do really good impressions of both of them, and I don't want to give the game away, so I'll be reading them out in a neutral voice, and that voice will be the voice of Stephen Hawking. Okay, here's the first one, alright? You need to keep it in your trousers, mate. Andrew.
Jeremy Kyle.
Let's see if you're right.
You need to keep it in your trousers.
He's right. Right. You ready for the next one? Get your thing nearer your lips and you'll blow it quicker. Ready? Who clapped? David?
No.
Let's see if you're right. Who clapped? It was Noel. It was Noel. You just fucking wait till the end, you find out. If you show that much enthusiasm, this is going to take all fucking night. What I'd like is a bit less from you and a bit more from everyone else. There's got to be an happy medium somewhere. Right, I hope you haven't been peeking at my card. Alright, okie doke. Right, here's the next one. Here's the next one, alright, you ready? Look, he's got it in his mouth ready, alright, so just he can do that, but be aware. Right, here we go. Anyone could be a sperm donor, buddy.
Yeah!
I think that was Andrew.
Yeah!
Jeremy Kyle, come on.
Let's see if you're right.
No.
Anyone can be a sperm donor. It takes a real man to be a dad.
That was right. What's the scores at the end of that round, Dean?
David's on 1, but Andrew's on 2.
Yeah! No, don't say that though. On the fucking clock in!
I don't want a big argument about anything, just fucking accept it, shut your beak. Right. Now, for me, the word genius gets bandied about too freely these days. I think it should be reserved for people that have properly earned it. Like John Lennon. And Stephen Hawking. That's him on his birthday. Just because you wrote a brief history of time you're in a wheelchair, don't mean you don't get the bumps. And of course my favourite genius, Jeremy Cole's counsellor, Graham the Genius. Now, it's been bugging me for ages, right? Jeremy Cole's counsellor, Graham the Genius, looks a bit like someone, but I can never quite put my finger on it. I wonder if I could picture him with a bit more of a beard, whether that'd help. No, not that much of a beard. I'm on about a little grey tufty one, a bit like wee Jimmy Cranky's muff. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. One more clue and I think I'll get it. Of course, his 70s glam rocker turned pedo pariah, Gary, get up. And that inspired this next round, the Graham or Gary round.
Graham or Gary, you need to express which one you think it is, so buzz in and guess. One is a counsellor, the other confessed to cuddling little chinky kids when he was undressed.
Right. Now, I'm going to show you two some pictures, alright? And what I need you to do is buzz in and tell me if you think it's Graham or if you think it's Gary, alright? This is odd, because they do look alike. Can we see the first picture, Dean? Graham or Gary? David?
Graham. Yeah.
Let's see if you're right. It is Graham. It is. Right, straight on the next picture. Graham or Gary? David. Andrew.
Gary.
Let's see if you're right. No, that's Graham. Someone in the audience knows his Grahams from his Garys. Man with too much time on his hands. And an unhealthy interest. Right, next picture please, Dean. Graham or Gary? David, that's the most unsure toot I've ever heard. Graham or Gary?
That blue background, that's a Graham.
Ah, he knows, you know. It is Graham. That was skill and judgment. Right, next picture please. Graham or Gary? David?
Gary.
Let's see if you're right. It's Graham. It's Graham. Next picture please. Graham or Gary? Andrew?
Graham.
Let's see if you're right. Of course it's Graham. Right, you ready for the next picture? Next picture please. Graham or Gary? David?
Graham.
Let's see if you're right. It's Gary. It's Gary. He's not getting much of that kind of work anymore. What's the scores at the end of that round, Dean?
David and Andrew are both on 3.
Now, this next round is called the Match the Snatch round.
Match the snatch, match the snatch. To whom does that fudge belong? It's match the snatch.
Right, I'm going to show you two a picture of a daytime TV presenter's front bottom, and I need you to use your skill and judgment to tell me who does that slot belong to. Right, can we see the picture, Dean? Who's front bum?
Fuck.
Collars and cuffs. David.
Graham. Kelly.
Let's see if you're right. Of course it is. Of course, well played. He's got that on his hard drive. Now, sadly, mate, you're going to have to shut your beak, seriously.
I'm pure excited, my pals winning.
Well, just a little bit less excited. You're on about a 9, I reckon. I reckon we could probably do you on about a 6 or 7. I just mean shut it a little bit. Right. So sadly, that's the end of that round. Not because he ruined it, just because I couldn't find any other pictures of daytime TV presenters with their front bums out. Now you've got one more chance to be excited here when I show you this other picture. This is the only thing I could find. This gal from Coronation Street with her bangers out. There's definitely no points for that. What's the scores? The end of that round, Dave?
Andrew's on 3, but Davey's in the lead with 4.
Put together, Cairns.
Now we're quickly going to move on to the true or false round.
True or false? True or false? I've run out of quiz ideas. It's true or false?
Right. I'm going to read a statement. At the end of it, I'll ask the question true or false. Then, and only then, do I want one of you two to buzz in and tell me if you think it's true or if you think it's false. Right, here we go. Here's the first one. Convicted conman and orange-faced, oversized Oompa Loompa David Dickinson's tan is caused by natural exposure to sunlight. True or false? David?
False as fuck.
Of course it's false. He's got a sponsorship deal with Ron Seal Woodstein. Right, here's the next question, alright? Judy off Richard and Judy shakes so much because she's an incontinent alcoholic. True or false? Andrew?
I think that's true.
Sorry mate, it's false. She shakes so much because she's got Michael J. Fox trapped up her binge. Was anyone seen him out lately? Right, you think that's terrible, you wait till you hear the rest. Right, here's the next one, alright. Video footage exists of Philip Schofield involved in a sex act with one of his former co-presenters. True or false? David?
True.
That is true, of course, you must have seen his sex tape, this one here.
Gordon, thank you very much indeed for the past 6 years. It's been fabulous.
Right, here's the next question, alright? Denise Squelch off Loose Women has a dildo that she calls the Cunt Buster, I've started, so I'll finish. She has a dildo that she calls the Kunt Buster, which measures the same dimensions as a large butternut squash. True or false? Andrew?
That has to be true.
It's not. It's false. It's actually the same size as 2 baguettes placed end to end. And she still has a little bit of rope on the end of one of them, so in case it gets lost up there.
Very large again. Oh, shit.
Very large flange. I've seen a picture on the internet. It's baggier than Blur's first album. Right. Here we go. This is quite a long one, alright, so I'm going to take a really deep breath. Eamon Holmes lives solely on Fray Bentos pies. He doesn't have any vegetables with him, he just eats Fray Bentos pies straight out the tin. He doesn't eat anything else, just Fray Bentos pies and Tunnock's caramels. He has a whole pack of Tunnock's caramels for afters every day after every meal, and 2 packs for 11s. That's why he's such a fat cunt. David?
True.
Of course it's true. Look at him, the greedy fat cunt. Right, here's the next question. Deal or No Deal host Noel Edmonds, who formerly presented the show Telly Addicts, was himself a sex addict. True or false? Andrew?
I'm probably wrong, but I think it's true.
That is true, yeah. Hey! Did you know the BBC producers own... Yarmouth Waxworks, best day out in the world. Did you know the BBC producers only employed Mr. Blobby to stop Noel keep assaulting the female guests? If you ever saw Mr. Blobby close up, you would have in fact seen that he was covered in lots of little rubber fannies that Noel used to fuck whenever he was backstage. And if you look beneath the bow tie, there's one little rubber bumhole. Because Noel liked the different sensation on his shaft. Right, here's the next question, you ready? In our survey, given the choice, 15% of the people asked would go on holiday with Jeremy Kyle. True or false? David?
Shit. True?
It is true.
Yes!
Jeremy finished just below Nick Griffin, Karen Matthews and Abu Hamza. Now, we didn't use these in the end, but just for your information, these were the Noel Edmonds statistics. What's the scores at the end of that round, Dean?
Andrew's on 4, but Davey's in the lead with 8.
Don't worry, Andrew, you can still get this back, alright? Because there's 5 points at stake for this next round, and this is called the Cunt Down Conundrum round.
Down conundrum, the Cunt Down Conundrum. It's just a fucking anagram, the Cunt Down Conundrum.
Now this works just like the Countdown Conundrum, but it's a little bit easier so we're not sat here all fucking night. Can we see the word, Dean?
Please reveal today's Countdown Conundrum.
David, he thinks he's got it.
I think it's got to be something else, David.
Let's see if you're right. Date rape, he thinks. That's 2 words, you fucking pervert. Fuck's sake. But somehow you're still the winner, fuck knows how. And you win tonight's star prize, a Cunt and Again goodie bag. Containing such excellent prizes as a book signed to me by Princess Diana. A signed photo of me, weirdly in the same handwriting. My worst selling album, Sloppy Seconds. My magnum opus, Shannon Matthews the Musical. And we normally give away a little bit of porn, but unfortunately Dean's fucking stuck my last wank bag together. So I made this pornographic picture of Noel. That's one I made myself. Right, yeah, you can keep all that, kiss that back, kiss your little trumpet. Please retake your seats and I'll see you at the end with a chance to win some actual cash. Give a round of applause.
That was quality.
Oh mate, you ain't heard nothing yet.
I'm pure buzzing, man.
So, we're right to carry on, mate. We're right to carry on.
We got Jamaica.
No, she went her own accord. Right. Fuck's sake, right. So, after getting the quiz sorted, oh no, still commenting on it. I don't want you commenting, but just comment a little bit further back, sort of like out in the bar or sort of out.
That's so funny, but like, my pal Clarky's just amazing. Can we just?
Yeah, but you could just.
Can I get an applause for Clarky?
Oh fuck's sake, just do it. Please give him a round of applause, just so he shuts his fucking beak. Right, that is a conditional round of applause, you fucking loud cunt. Now shut up, you ain't gonna get... Listen, fucking flange clambers in here in half an hour. Right. So after getting the quiz sorted, I felt like I was on a bit of a roll. I started to feel like I was ahead of the game. So rather than carrying on writing my show, I went and fucked around on Facebook for a bit. Now while I was on there, some bloke sent me a message saying, "Cunt, have you seen it's all kicking off on the FemFresh Facebook page?" Now, for those of you not familiar with FemFresh, they're basically the leading brand in the feminine intimate hygiene area, having broken through with their packs of fanny wipes and recently branched into a range of pH-sensitive minge washes. Now, some of you ladies might not know this, right, but sometimes us blokes don't feel quite so fresh downstairs, and the modern man isn't always content with washing his cock over a sink or giving his helmet a once round with a handful of spit. So I've had an idea, right, for like a men's version of FemFresh, if you will, a gentleman's wipe. And check this name, Axe, it's a fucking winner. Bell Fresh. I wrote a little jingle for it and everything.
Is your bell and cheesy, well clean and easy with Bell Fresh cock wipes?
Anyway, as I was saying, I went on Facebook and someone said to me, "Cunt, it's all kicking off on the FemFresh Facebook page." Right, so I went on there to find loads of comments from irate ladies who were all angry about FemFresh's latest advertising campaign, where they were using lots of childlike, patronising names for a lady's vagina. This was the radio advert that went along with it.
Mini, twinkle, hoo-ha, flower, fandango. Did you know that some regular shower gels and soaps, if used on your privates, could strip it of its natural defences, causing dryness and irritation? With its pH-balanced formula, specially developed for intimate skin, FemFresh is one of the kindest ways to care for your fancy vajayjay, newly, la-la-la, frou-frou. Whatever you call it, make sure you love it.
Good job I didn't have any respect for her beforehand. Now, from the comments I read, the ladies, what had made the ladies angry was FemFresh's use of patronising, childlike words for a lady's vagina. I could see their beef. But some of the ladies had started accusing FemFresh of being an unnecessary product, which I thought was taking it too far. I was torn though, because suddenly there were lots of ladies talking frankly about their front bottoms, something which I'm all for.
FemFresh is a great example of marketing people creating a non-existent problem so they can sell you a solution to it. So, they sell a vaginal cleaning product which makes women think that their vaginas are dirty and need special cleaning products. In short, you don't need FemFresh or any other such product. Your vagina is an amazing self-cleaning ecosystem. If you bath and shower regularly, you won't need to do anything more than clean your vulva, the outside part of your vagina, carefully with water. Use your fingers to clean in all the folds, and maybe a tiny bit of unperfumed soap if you feel the need. Stay natural, stay confident.
Well put, Mary. While I was there though, I felt I should make sure that both sides of the argument were being properly represented.
That's all very well, Mary, but I can vouch for the fact that a vagina's amazing self-cleaning ecosystem wasn't designed for 3 hours dancing around to uplifting house and garage.
Now, rather than get on with writing my show, I scrolled down the page and I made some more relevant comments. Now, FemFresh had an average of 5 people liking their page post, so you'd have thought they'd have been grateful for the input.
Happy birthday, Queenie. Thumbs up who's wishing Her Majesty a happy official 86th birthday.
Yeah, I'm sure Her Majesty was well chuffed to get birthday greetings off a twat cleaning product.
The Queen doesn't need FemFresh. She has a team of cleaners who come in hourly on the hour and test her gaseous pH with a jewel-encrusted cotton bud. And then, if there's any batter formed, they wipe it off with a tissue coated in gold leaf, with a crest on.
So at this point, FemFresh's Facebook page was still coming under siege from a barrage of unfriendly comments, and they were forced to issue a statement.
Thank you for all your posts. We are reading all of them and listening to your feedback.
It was too little too late. hundreds of irate ladies were still posting up disparaging comments, and people were referring to it as a social media PR disaster. I was still trying to help out.
For all you people having a go at Femfresh for being an unnecessary product, I'd like to see you munching on a bird's mimsy on the Sunday of Glastonbury, you bunch of hypocrites.
Now, while Femfresh were deleting some of the more explicit and angry posts, they must have accidentally deleted some of mine. I know they're under quite a lot of stress, so I just posted them back up, no hard feelings. Things were getting well out of hand by this stage though, with hundreds of angry ladies calling for the Femfresh Facebook page to be taken down, and calling the Femfresh marketing people a bunch of frou-frous. Now, in a final attempt to defuse the situation, I tried to change the subject, and I encouraged some of my Facebook chums to join in.
Dear Femfresh, do you do flavoured Femfresh wipes? If you do, or are planning to, can I request San Miguel, fruit and nut, and hummus?
I've got a more mature palate these days. Now, there were hundreds of suggestions, but these was just a few of my favourites.
Boiled egg.
Stampion lemon knickknacks.
Chicken ticker.
The nation's favourite fanny wipe. Scotch bonnet, which coincidentally makes a great alternative name for your frou-frou.
Sadly, my efforts were in vain, and the Femfresh Facebook page got taken down. I'd done everything to try and help, but then I thought, hold on, there might be one last thing I can do. As far as I could see, the whole issue was caused by the ladies being upset with Femfresh's patronising childlike words they were using for a lady's vag. So I thought, why not try and give their advert a bit of a tweak and make it more suitable for an adult audience?
Beaver, sausage wallet, prawn pitta, flange, furry axe wound.
Did you know that some regular shower gels and soaps, if used on your
fuck flaps,
can strip it of its natural defences, causing dryness and irritation? With its pH-balanced formula, specially developed for intimate skin, Femfresh is one of the kindest ways to care for your fancy,
fur burger, gash, stench trench, bearded clam.
Whatever you call it, make sure you
wash it.
I'm just waiting to hear back from them. So I'd wasted another couple of days fucking around with that and not got any more done on my show. But my confidence had been boosted by the way my idea for flavoured flange wipes had captured the public's imagination. I'd also spotted the flaws in Femfresh's marketing campaign and changed it to make it better. So I started to do the same to my daytime TV viewing schedule. I'll start with Lorraine Kelly's show. When I wake up about 9 o'clock, Lorraine Kelly's show is always on. Now, Lorraine's show basically consists of happy shopper fashion tips, recipes, and interviews with celebrity guests. And Lorraine's saying how good it is all the way through it, every single day.
Good, good, really good, really good, it's really good, really good, it's really good, it's really good, that's good.
Now, if Lorraine's to be believed, her show doesn't need any improvement because it's already...
Fantastic. 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 Yeah. Fantastic. Extraordinary.
And don't get me wrong, I do quite like it. But I reckon I could improve it. First thing I'd do is I'd get rid of all the features, right? Fuck off the happy shopper fashion tips, recipes and interviews with celebrity guests. But I'd keep Lorraine saying how good it is all the way through it because it's a nice positive message.
Fantastic. 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 Really good.
It's the kind of thing you want to hear if you're coming from a club late and you're still up on a pill.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
And for that reason, I'd set it to a bit of drum and bass. So you wouldn't need Lorraine in a TV studio, she could just do her bits in a radio studio so she don't have to put all her makeup on and that. But you wouldn't want a blank screen, would you? Instead of that, I'd probably have like a test card. But rather than have that girl playing noughts and crosses with a clown, I'd have that picture from the 80s of Lorraine with her biff out. No, not that one, Dean, the other one, where she's laying back and it looks like she's had a pounding. That's the one.
Isn't it all about just giving it a wee rub?
Yes, it is. So that's Lorraine's show sorted. What's next? Oh, Loose Women. Now, in case you haven't seen Loose Women is basically a show where 4 old rotters chat about fashion, interview celebrities and make veiled references to all the cocks they've had up them. Now, don't get me wrong, I quite like it, but I reckon I could improve it. What I'll probably do first of all is get rid of whoever's in charge. Who's it there? Andrea McLean. Get rid of her and replace her with a different presenter. I quite like the BBC's Dan Walker, he's quite affable. Right, and rather than chatting about fashion, interviewing celebrities and making veiled references to all the cocks they've had up them, I think they could talk about football. Perhaps do some features on upcoming fixtures and show some edited highlights of the previous weekend's games. But I don't reckon them three other old munters would know the first thing about football, so I'd fuck them off and replace them with some ex-footballers. And with the new look could come a new name. Rather than call it Loose Women, maybe call it something like Football Focus. I'm only mucking about. I do actually like Loose Women a little bit more now Carol Vorderman's on it. I remember when she left Countdown, I just sort of went into shock. Now, for those of you who don't know the backstory, I used to love Carol Vorderman for about 15 years. I followed her quite closely. This is me in my Carol Vorderman t-shirt. This is me outside where she lives. And this is me just after I met her bodyguard. Now, when I loved Carol, I was still working part-time in home base. I got the sack from that job after the manager caught me in the staff room taking a picture of me cock on my phone to text to Carol. Don't tell me none of you have ever texted anyone a picture of your cock. What, even if you've had a bad day at work? You do some silly things when you're in love though, don't you? After that, my mates all rallied round and they said, "Cunt, you're going to have to forget Carol, she's never going to have it off with you." I knew they were right, but I just didn't think I'd ever be able to move on with my feelings. And then I saw the new bird on Countdown, Rachel Riley, and things started looking up. Unfortunately, it was another unrequited love, and she hasn't once returned my phone calls, emails, texts, faxes, or little jiffy bags full of spunk that I sent into the Countdown studios. Now, at this point, we've got to have a quick commercial break. Now, obviously, we've had an advert that was aimed at the ladies earlier on with the FemFresh one, so I thought it was only fair to even things up. I've got a call from an advertising company saying, "Cunt, could we please use one of your amazing voiceover voices to voice over an advert for us?" I said, "Well, yes, I have got an amazing range of voiceover voices, but I hate it when celebrities sell out and do adverts. See, if I did an advert, it would have to be something that I properly cared about. You know, like how Johnny Rotten cares about having a nice knob of butter on his crumpets. Or how Miranda Hart cares about ladies' beavers not stinking the place up." So anyway, they offered me a load of cash and I ended up doing it. And we're going to play the advert quickly for you now. It's only 20 seconds long. It's for a new lads mag, so if you don't like the sound of that, just shut your eyes and put your fingers in your ears. 20 seconds, here we go.
Pubes! The new magazine for men! With pubes, birds, cars, gadgets, motorbikes, tits, muffs! Get it every Wednesday from the newsagent, you cunt! Pubes! The new magazine for men! With pubes!
And on with the show. Now, Jeremy Cole's show on ITV. It's one of those things you don't want to look at, but you just can't help yourself. A bit like Roadkill. Or Lorraine Kelly's Minge. Which looks a bit like Roadkill. Now, it's very easy to be critical of Jeremy Cole's show, but I reckon if any of us ever got our own show where we baited and berated the underclass, then qualified it with "I'm only being honest," we'd probably do it exactly the same way as Jeremy does. I've tried turning over to BBC One a few times to watch Air Hunters at the same time, but there's never quite enough shouting, pointing or accusing for my liking.
I've got an autistic child!
You did?
I didn't say anything to it!
I did. You did offer me drugs. You're a racist. You're an alcoholic. You're a druggie. And I'll tell you what, you ever come near me, and there will be serious consequences.
You know, excuse me, right there, then when I come out and do this, I know I've done really wrong. Well, I would pull my back off, and I will give it to my kids any day. So don't you tell me about my children!
You're lying now.
What say sugar bait when you had cancer?
Now, usually the Jeremy Cole show is meticulously researched, so Jeremy can get straight to the heart of the problem and start accusing people, whatever it is he thinks they've done. It's a very rare occasion he doesn't get his facts straight.
It's a joke for you.
Really? I'm not a wife beater, am I?
I'm not for a Max, I'm not married to her.
off on a technicality. It's not very often people get one over on Jeremy Cole, because Jeremy Cole has learnt how to do Jedi mind tricks. Now, in case you don't know what a Jedi mind trick is, here's the best example.
How long have you had these droids? About 3 or 4 seasons. They're up for sale if you want them. Let me see your identification. You don't need to see his identification. We don't need to see his identification. These aren't the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. He can go about his business. You can go about your business. Move along. Move along. Move along.
We asked Billy Boy, since the start of your relationship with Susanna, have you had sexual intercourse with any other person? He said no. He was telling the truth. We asked Billy Boy, since the start of your relationship with Susanna, have you had sexual contact with any other person? That's everything from a kiss to intercourse. You know what I'm saying? He said no, because he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. Since the start of your relationship with Susanna, have you passionately kissed any other person? He said no. Full house, love, he was telling the truth. Full house, love, he was telling the truth.
I can't imagine what would make her think that a 62-year-old bus driver was mucking around on her.
I can't just be ticket machine. Can you give me a hand?
I think I'm going to have my breakfast in bed.
Yeah, of course. First time I saw her on the buses, I thought it was a real-life documentary. Now, a lot of people are very critical of Jeremy Cole's show. Don't get me wrong though, I quite like it. But I reckon I could improve it. As much as I like Jeremy Cole, no one can deny he's a massive cunt. So what about trying to replace him with someone who's even more of a cunt? And while you're doing that, let's find someone with an even more cuntish catchphrase.
I've got an autistic child! I didn't say anything to it! Calm down, dear.
You did offer me drugs, you're a racist, you're an alcoholic, you're a druggie, and I'll tell you what, you ever going to come near me, and there will be serious consequences.
Calm down, dear. I love my kid and I'll hold my back off, and I will give it to my kids any day. Stop you tell me all my children. Calm down, dear.
You're lying now!
Calm down, dear.
That's along the right lines. The catchphrase is working for me, but I wonder, could we find someone who's even more of a cunt than Jeremy Cole? And even more of a cunt than Michael Winner? No, surely that's not possible. Or is it?
I've got an autistic child! I didn't say anything to it!
Calm down, dear.
You did offer me drugs, you're a racist, you're an alcoholic, you're a druggie.
Calm down, dear.
I love my kid and I'll hold my back off, and I will give it to my kids any day.
Calm down, dear.
You're lying now!
Calm down, dear.
Not sure calling David Cameron a cunt deserves a round of applause. I think one day soon you could see me on Jeremy Cole. Rachel Riley off Countdown got me arrested for harassment and all that 9 weeks ago. I don't know why she got me done for harassment. I mean, I haven't done anything too bad up until now. Mind you, my shows have been going okay. So I've been in a pretty good mood. But you know how all that can change when you have a bad day at work.
You say that I've seen the baby, it doesn't look like me. You say I'm sick and tired of this damn woman harassing me. I am. But I thought you were sending explicit pictures of your private parts to her. I sent one and I had a bad day at work.
We've all been there, mate. We've all been there. You've had a bad day, it was really shite. Text a picture of your cock and it will all be alright. The one thing about harassment though, it's a very hard thing to prove, isn't it?
But I thought you were sending explicit pictures of your private parts to her.
I've sent one and I had a bad day at work.
You had a bad day at work, so you send her an explicit picture of
She
your...
was asking me to.
No, it's not.
And she was.
No, I wasn't.
Then she got me arrested for harassment and all that 9 weeks ago.
Why did she get you done for harassment?
Because I was harassing her all the time. She was harassing me.
Couldn't top that one for Jeremy Clark. Yeah. After a surprising and unlikely comeback, Noel Edmonds ended up doing Deal or No Deal after 10 years in the TV wilderness. Now, don't worry if you don't know anything about Deal or No Deal, because I'm going to sing a song that explains it to you. Deal or No Deal. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The countdown conundrum comes around too soon. I feel a heaviness in my heart as Deal or No Deal is about to start. There's Noel Edmonds with his lovely hair. Noel Edmonds can make you a $250,000. There's Noel Edmonds with his beard so neat. There's Noel Edmonds with his smile so white. There's Noel Edmonds with his lovely hair. Noel Edmonds can make you a $250,000. There's Noel Edmonds with his beard so neat. There's Noel Edmonds in a cuntish shirt. He's 63, but he looks about 45. Deal or No Deal. You open the boxes one by one. They contain many different sums of money. Some contain large amounts and others not so large amounts of money. If you go home with a large amount, you'll be pleased. Otherwise, you'll probably just say what a great experience it was. There's Noel Edmonds with his eyes so blue. Noel Edmonds can make your dreams come true. There's Noel Edmonds on the phone to the banker. There's Noel Edmonds, what a professional. There's 22 boxes and just one question. 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 How the fuck is Noel Edmonds still on TV? Thank you. Thank you. Now, Noel Edmonds put his TV comeback down to this thing called cosmic ordering. I ain't fucking explained what it is yet, fuck's sake. So anyway, cosmic ordering apparently works like this, right? What it is, if you think of something that you really want, right, you have to write it down, and you keep wishing for it, and you look at it, and you think about it all the time, and you draw a little symbol that represents this thing on your hand. Right, and you look at that, and you think about it all the time, and eventually your wish will come true. So Noel, he wanted to be back on telly. Right, so he wrote it down on a bit of paper. He wrote, I want to be back on telly, love from Noel. He looked at it, he thought about it all the time. He drew a little symbol of a telly on his hand. And he looked at it and he thought about it all the time. And eventually he ended up back on telly. Now let me tell you, that is a load of shit. It doesn't work. I tried it myself when I was in my last job, working part-time at home base. But it just never came true. I wrote it down and everything. I even tried drawing a little symbol on my hand. And she just wouldn't let me lick her out. What a load of bollocks cosmic ordering is. But it got me thinking though, right? If Noel's lying about cosmic ordering, how did he get back on telly? Now we know Noel still has sex addiction problems, because if you see him on Deal or No Deal every day, he's always got a hard on. He disguises it by tucking it up in his belt. I know what to look for, because I used that method all the way through school. Right, and you know there's this character on Deal or No Deal called the banker, right? And no one's ever seen him, and no one gets to talk to him apart from Noel. Well, I think the banker is Mr. Blobby. Right, the reason no one ever gets to speak to him is because he's got a very distinctive voice and it'll give the game away. Blobby, blobby, blobby. And the reason no one's ever seen him is because with TV being HD these days, you'd be able to see all his little rubber front bottoms. And I think he got Noel back on telly because the pair of them are in a fucked up relationship, a bit like Fred and Rose West. Right, it all makes sense if you think about it. There's been some weird celebrity deaths in recent years, not least of all Michael Hutchins, Christian Digby and David Carradine in that wardrobe. Were they really all strangle-wanks gone wrong? What if Blobby is making Noel murder in return for sex and fame? See, I'm thinking maybe Noel tricks his way into their rooms because they recognise him off his Saturday night house party set in the fictional town of Crinkly Bottom. Then once he's in there, he sprinkles something in their drink, waits for them to pass out, then strings them up, wanks them a semi, goes back to Blobby, the pair of them get off on it, while Noel describes what he did while sticking his cock in and out all them little rubber minges. And that one little rubber bumhole. Right, but I don't think it was just the strangle wanks. I think Noel got a taste for murder and he killed Jill Dando. Barry George originally got the blame because, unlucky for him, he also had a very neat beard and just happened to be hiding in her bushes that day having a wank. I think Noel killed Rod Hull. He saw Rod and Emu up on the roof, adjusting their aerial. Then he snuck up there, jumped out having a wank, knowing full well that Emu would make a lunge for his stiffy. Rod's just in his slippers and he slipped and fell off. I think Noel killed Joe Goody. I think he snuck into her house under the cover of darkness, pulled back the bedclothes, lifted up a nightdress, pulled the piss flaps apart, and then he got out a microwave that he'd hotwired to send carcinogenic rays up her sausage belly. I think Noel organised it for his mate, wee Jimmy Cranky, to have a sleepover at the Neverland Ranch. Michael Jackson had his heart attack when he reached down that little boy's shorts and got an handful of old ladies' minge. Does that sound unlikely? Still more fucking likely than cosmic ordering. Now, I realised at this point in writing the show, you're supposed to have a bit of a low point. That wasn't it. So you can turn it round for a triumphant finale. Now, my low point came when I realised I was 5 minutes from the end of the show and I realised it didn't contain one original idea. All I'd done was tell other people what was wrong with their shows without actually contributing anything constructive. I'd become a reviewer. That made me so low I just lay there with daytime TV on and I didn't write anything else. Countdown came on, Rachel was wearing a really short dress and I couldn't even be bothered to text her a picture of my cock. And I was having a bad day at work. What I needed was a big finale to get me out of this low point. Then suddenly Deal or No Deal came on and it made me think, hold on, I could disguise my show's deficiencies by giving away a load of cash. We could play a game, sorry I forgot where I was there. We could play a game along the lines of Deal or No Deal, but obviously not the same for copyright reasons. Although after having just called Noel Edmonds a puppet fucking serial killer, I think copyright infringement's probably the least of my worries. I worked out a budget and I realised we had enough for a jackpot of 25 quid. Unfortunately, with this being a free festival, it's split across 23 nights, so it works out to £1.8. So could we please have Andrew here and David back up on the stage to play Noel or No Noel?
Noel or No Noel?
Right chaps, now David, you were the winner, so you get to choose, right? In these two boxes, one of them contains Noel Edmonds. We're not actually in like an effigy, right? Right, and that represents the jackpot of £1.8. The other one contains fuck all. Right, so what I'd like you to do is choose a box. Box 1 or box 2. It's your pick. Pick 1. Okie doke, right, if you could just hold it along those lines, facing the audience. Now, can you confirm you just chose that box at random?
Chose it at random.
Okie doke, yeah, do it down here, that'd be better. like that, yeah? Both these boxes were sealed by our independent adjudicator, my mate Dean back there, and he seals all the boxes, and he's the only one who knows where Noel is, apart from me. I'll just quickly like to say, in the unlikely event there's any TV producers still in here at the end of the show, I've actually been working this into a long format game show which has some more boxes with some different Noels in, like Noel Gallagher, Noel Fielding, and Noel out of Hearsay. Bloppy, bloppy, bloppy. It's the banker, David. He wants to make you an offer on your box. He wants to offer you a VHS video of Jim Davidson's Boobs in the Wood. It's a sexist classic. What do you think he should do? Deal or no deal? I mean, Noel or no Noel? No, no. Bearing in mind this is a prop we need to use tomorrow. No, no. No, no. You're going for the cash? Wise move. Means we don't have to negotiate afterwards. Right. Just checking I've got the cash in my pocket ready for one of you. Right, can you just open that up? Just pull the tab and show it round. He's won the jackpot! Andrew, I guess it just wasn't your night. Can you open it up to show them what was in the box? Yeah, look.
Oh, there.
Ain't rocket science. Show it round so they can see there. Fuck all. So please retake your seats, chaps. David, I've got some money for you here. Give him a round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No.
So on that massive anticlimax, that's the end of Noel or No Noel, and sadly the end of the show. I'd like to thank you for all sticking it out tonight. Before we all go, I've just got a couple of notices. Just in the unlikely event you've got 10 quid burn Noel in your pocket, I've got some t-shirts there that are virtually unwearable in any social situation. For a fiver, I've got some CDs that are virtually unplayable in any decent company. The way these three, this is really fucking itchy something. The way these three festival gigs work, we have all the same accommodation expenses and stuff as the people over the Pleasance and Gilded Balloon who charge 15 quid a ticket. So what I'd basically do is, as you're walking out, I'll hold this begging bowl and please stick whatever you think the show's worth in. If you think it's worth the price of a pint, stick that in. If you think it's worth a fiver, stick that in. I personally wouldn't be embarrassed to see any tenors in there. As you kind of go past, just whatever you can afford, as you go past, I'll give you one of these. This is a flyer for our other show up, the City Cafe, and this one. And I've tried to make this a little bit special by signing the flyer and including a picture of Lorraine Kelly. That was meant to be a fully naked picture, but unfortunately the printers wouldn't print it. So what I've done is I've put a little QR code over a bifter. If you scan that with your smartphone, that'll take you to our website where you can see her in her full glory. Haggis, Sneeps, Tatties, the lot. Alright, thank you very much for coming out, and I'll see you later.